All right, good morning, YouTube. Today we're going to do a little farming. This is episode number 2, I think, of farming, fixing, and building. Today we're doing some cultivation on corn for a couple different reasons. I'll explain those in just a little bit. But this is some corn that we planted here about a month or so ago, and it's doing real well. Pleased with it. It's had sort of a hard life to begin with. It's been real unseasonably cool here, so it hasn't grown off quite as well as it normally does. But I think it's supposed to get up into low 80s most of this week and 60s at night, so should really take off here in the next few days. So we're doing some cultivation, and the reason, two reasons really why we're doing that. One obvious reason is to get rid of these grass and weeds that are down here in the middles, and the second reason is that we've had some hard rains a few weeks ago, thunderstorm type stuff, and when you get a real heavy rain like that, it tends, certain soils, it tends to pack them and make them hard, and so if you run through it with a cultivator, it'll loosen that soil up and kind of get some air to the roots of that plant, and they will really take off and go to growing a lot faster. And so this is our first field we started in. We've got about 25, 30 acres to do, not a whole lot. But this is corn. We sell most of this corn for to deer hunters, to bait deer stands and that kind of thing. Sell it as deer corn. Also sell some of it to folks to feed, grind and feed cows. We snap all of it with a corn snapper. Hopefully I'll get to show you some footage of that sometime around August, September. But today we're using an old tillage tool. This is a lilliston rolling cultivator. It's a 2-row cultivator. I've got probably 4 or 5 of these things. I've got a 4-row set, but it's set up for 30-inch rows, and this corn here is planted on 36-inch rows. I got it hooked behind the old Massey Ferguson 275, and lilliston rolling cultivator is extremely popular in southeastern North Carolina throughout the 60s, 70s, 80s, and even into the 90s. Really, pretty much if you were a farmer around here, you had one, or if not 2 or 3. They don't get used a whole lot anymore, thanks to Roundup Ready corn and beans and stuff like that. Folks are really don't cultivate it much anymore. Only your smaller farmers, and they're also used a lot in tobacco for those folks that are still growing tobacco around here, which are not nearly as many as there was a few years ago. But the way this works is you've got these rollers here, and there's about 14,000 different ways that you can set them, and you can turn them in, so tilt them the way you'll see these here has got a tilt, and what that's going to do is this one on this side is going to throw dirt here into the center. The one on this side's tilted the opposite way, and it's going to throw dirt to the center as well. You can change the angles to make them where they'll throw dirt away from the crop, where they'll throw dirt to the crop, where they won't throw dirt at all. Just some multiple different ways to set them up. They work extremely well in looser, sandier soils. I wouldn't think that they would they would do well in heavy soils or clay soils, or anything with rocks or a bunch of sticks or anything like that. But they really work well if you've dished your land and got it prepared good. Got some sweeps on the back, and all they're doing is just kind of ridging just a little bit. We don't want to throw a real high bed, just trying to throw some soil into the corn to cover up those weeds, and then loosen up the area around those roots. Okay, so we're going to get started here. And a few years ago, this tractor caught on fire and burnt the switch mechanism up. And so for all you safety police folks, you turn the other way. Little tip: if you ever need to start an older diesel engine without a key, just short it out across the starter. I'm going to be running in second gear, high range. The faster you go with these things, the better they work. But there is more dirt will grow the faster you go. Roll that soil right up to the plant. Not going quite as fast as I normally would if I wasn't holding this phone. You can see on this side where it just rolls the soil right up there. Take care of those little things that they can take out on its own. Covered up. Still got a few pieces of grass here and there showing, and unmechanical cultivation between this and here. Take a look back. Everything worked out pretty good. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Give us a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe, and we'll be talking with you later.